Well, it's a post-Tom Brady world in New England as the Patriots try to continue their dominance in the AFC East amid a myriad of changes. They'll say what's up to the Dolphins coming up tomorrow. We're going to say what's up to Mike Giardi coming up soon. And the Vikings getting ready for their date with the Packers. Kirk Cousins entering his third season with his third offensive coordinator, although Gary Kubiak was on the staff there last year. Will the Vikings start the season off right with a win? That is one of our questions. We'll talk to Tom Pelissero in a moment, but it is hour 2 of Good Morning Football Weekend. I did this in the first hour. I'll do it again. Welcome, everybody, to our first show of the year. I'm Colleen Wolfe with D'Angelo Hall. See, I'm getting it right here. I'm working with the delay. I'm figuring it out. Michael Robinson, Mike Garafolo. Guys, I feel like, we're just a well-oiled machine at this point.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Don't jinx it or anything. Only 2 hours to go.
Yeah. Don't do that, Kyle.
That's it. What could go wrong? Tweet us what goes wrong at GMFB. Hey, we'll pick out the best tweets. Of course, we have polls. We have crystal footballs. We have everything you need on Twitter. But let's start here in the NFC North. The Packers and Vikings this week. Minnesota named their captains, which includes Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook. First time for Cook, but not for Cousins. This isn't his first rodeo. It's not Tom Pelissero's first rodeo either. He's helping us break down this matchup as we go out to Minneapolis here. Tom Pelissero outside of US Bank Stadium. And Tom, for the Packers, this is their first road trip in what is now a very new and different world. So what can you enlighten us with in terms of what they're dealing with?
Colleen, I spoke last night to Packers coach Matt LaFleur, who told me the biggest challenge for us is staying diligent and safe when we go outside our building and preaching that message. Packers are actually going to leave Green Bay about 2 hours later than they would for this road trip normally because, as LaFleur put it, guys can't leave the hotel. On game day, coaches can operate relatively normally. There's ample press box space here at US Bank Stadium, so you can have your full complement of coaches upstairs, which is not the case in every stadium. On the field, LaFleur told me it still remains to be seen how much, for instance, the Packers offense will have to change up their code words at the line of scrimmage based on how much they figure out the Vikings defense can hear or pick up over that 70 decibel murmur that will be playing at all times inside an empty stadium. As for the mandatory face coverings on the sideline, LaFleur, like everybody else, saw Andy Reid fog up the windshield on Thursday night. He told me, I won't be wearing the welder's mask, I'll tell you that much. LaFleur will stick with his normal gray neck gaiter. Colleen.
I mean, Andy Reid, he's a trendsetter, and I feel like every head coach should really be required to wear that at this point just because it was such an amazing thing to watch on Thursday, but we'll see. Tom, thank you for that. We'll see how things really are in US Bank Stadium with the noise level. I'm really interested to see that. I'm really interested, guys, to see who wins this division as well, because it feels like it's a two-team race for most people between the Packers and the Vikings. Jeezy, who would you pick between those two to win the division?
That's called foreshadowing, and thank you for saying who would you pick between those two. This will all make sense in, a couple of minutes here. But between these two, I would pick the Minnesota Vikings on the strength of a running game that I think is going to be incredibly strong under Gary Kubiak. I wish the offensive line was a little better. I'd feel better about this part of my prediction if so. But to me, Dalvin Cook could be running really angry this year, especially if that contract extension is not done, and seems like there's still work to be done for that to happen. So put that guy who normally runs angry in a contract year, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
There you go, Jeezy. All Kirk Cousins has to do is turn around and hand the football off to that guy, Dalvin Cook, that you just finished talking about. I mean, definitely. But that's how good teams are built. You use your quarterback who makes the money to throw the football to get the lead. You use that mean running back right there in Dalvin Cook to keep the lead in a 4-minute offense. And then that defense and that new pass rusher in Yannick Ngakoue can just pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. I am so excited that the Minnesota Vikings got Yannick Ngakoue. Now they can close games. Now that secondary can kind of sit back there and just wait on interceptions to come because they have multiple pass rushers, not just Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin. Now, Everson Griffin isn't there anymore. Yannick Ngakoue is taking his spot on the other side of Danielle Hunter. But these guys truly know how to get after the quarterback. I would like Yannick to play the run a little bit better. But I'm telling you, when the Minnesota Vikings are ahead in games now, you don't want to be an opposing quarterback.
And they brought in Dom Capers, which I'm really interested to see what this like Mike Zimmer, Dom Capers combo is going to be like on defense. And obviously Dalvin Cook, who's playing for a new contract. I hear that that's a pretty good motivator. You have Adam Thielen, who's coming back, who dealt with that hamstring injury all season long. So now he's healthy. Justin Jefferson, who was one of the most productive college wide receivers last year in college football. And Kirk Cousins, he proved that he could win a playoff game last year. So I'm going with the Vikings as well for all of those reasons, but I'm also going for this reason because right behind me, this jersey is burning a hole in my back right now. So, you know, I decided to just believe in my back and go with the Vikings on that. What do you think, D-Hall? Are you with us? I don't know.
Believe in my
Well,
back.
heck, no, I'm not with y'all.
Baby
I guess
got
I'm
back.
the only one who woke up and understands what's going on today. I'm going with Green Bay, man. Are y'all kidding me? Aaron Rodgers. Look, I've been a Green Bay hater last year, right? I always said, look, man, this offense doesn't need Aaron Rodgers. I want Aaron Rodgers to be special. Look, by them not going out and spending that first-round draft pick on another receiver, Aaron Rodgers knows he's about to be thrown out of that building, right? And so he's going to go to that line of scrimmage and change some plays sometimes, and Rob, you know how we always said, man, why is Aaron not getting him in a better play? Look. Now he knows he's on the way out of that Matt LaFleur offense. And so I see Aaron kind of going to the line, creating that chemistry with Devontae Adams that he already has, and changing some plays every now and then, as opposed to doing what he did last year, which was hand the ball off to Aaron Jones. I want to see Aaron Rodgers be special. And I think if he's special, they got a chance, man. A-Rod still can play. He got a chip on his shoulder, guys.
D-Hall, I'm almost in tears, brother. I'm almost in tears because I've convinced you that Aaron Rodgers is playing real good football. I mean, last year you were like, man, come on, man. Forget it. The Green Bay Packers, no, they ain't playing nobody. But now I'm just happy to hear you on my side, man. Thanks, D-Hall. I appreciate it.
Well, Aaron didn't need to
I know
be
that we're not in
special
studio
last
together,
year.
but I feel so close to you guys right now. It's really nice. Okay, so if the Vikings do take the North, I mean, they might not, D-Hall, could be the Packers. This guy will likely be a big reason why. Dalvin Cook ranked second in the league last season with 118.1 scrimmage yards per game. So let's just call it 118. And he was top 10 in a slew of other categories. So that brings us to some names and numbers. We're going to run through some big names. We'll tell you who will have the bigger numbers this weekend. And Mike Rob, let's start right there with Dalvin Cook. More rushing touchdowns, Aaron Jones or Dalvin Cook this week?
I got to go with Dalvin Cook. And yes, Aaron Jones, I love you, brother. You're running back. You know, we're good people. You know what I mean? But this guy and Dalvin Cook, this dude is running for a new contract. And Jeezy, you said a little bit earlier, the offensive line, maybe not the strength that you want it to be. Man, Pat Elflein and those guys, I think they're going to get it going this year. And Dalvin Cook, yeah, man, more touchdowns.
Dalvin Cook. Okay, there's that one there. Jeezy, more rushing yards. We'll stick with running backs here. Josh Jacobs or Christian McCaffrey?
Well, Colleen, the 14th pick in our fantasy league draft was made by this guy, and I took Josh Jacobs. So I'm going to speak this one into existence and take Josh Jacobs, the would-have-been Rookie of the Year last year if he had not gotten hurt. And I'm looking at this Raiders offensive line, experienced guys that are used to moving people out of the way. I'm taking myself Josh Jacobs because it says more rush yards, not more total yards.
You know what's crazy? Josh Jacobs doesn't have a rushing touchdown on the road yet. So this is the week. Let's go, Josh Jacobs, because I also have him on one of my fantasy teams. Okay, nobody cares about that, though. D-Hall, more receiving yards here. DeAndre Hopkins or George Kittle?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins. And I know people think I'm crazy because this 49ers defense is so good, right? But look, think about it. It's Kyler Murray. He's going to be able to get out of that pocket a little bit, extend some plays. And then I think about Arizona's defense, man. New player, Isaiah Simmons. They drafted him to follow guys like George Kittle around. And this young kid is athletic enough to cover him. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. And I think San Fran are running the ball a little more than throw the ball.
All right, Colleen, this one is for you. More total touchdowns, Russell Wilson or Matt Ryan. And just remember, Russell Wilson is unlimited.
He is unlimited for sure. The Let Russ Cook movement, it begins tomorrow. Marty Schottenheimer, make it happen. We got to see this because we know what Russell Wilson can do. And for me, this really came down to the two secondaries. And I am a little more bullish on the Seahawks because they bring in Jamal Adams. They have Quandre Diggs for now the entire season. He made such an impact in just 5 games last season. And if this comes down to the end of the game, fourth quarter, you know who's going to make it happen. You know who's going to come up big in that moment. It's Russell Wilson. So that's my guy right there. All right, little names and numbers for you there. Coming up next on the show, some big things. We got some big stuff for you. Cam and Bill, the rest of the AFC East is coming after you guys. The intrigue on the other sideline in Foxborough up next. Plus, we knew Lamar and Patrick Mahomes would be MVPs, and we have the tape to prove it. We're looking into our crystal football once again, and we can see the future.